episodes. We are able to keep Venture Forth ad-free thanks to our amazing patrons. To help keep this podcast free of ads, check out our Patreon, link in our description.
Hello, this is Sika.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, the party had followed Shreya and a lead that he had deep into the forest, where the party had found the likes of Chath and a few other teachers of the Ironlight Collective. After a discussion on the morality and the ethics of killing and hunting monsters, a fight broke out. The fight concluded with the Agents of Repair victorious and heading back to the town of Saddlemount. Unfortunately, on the way, Shreya seemed to become ill and fall to the party, becoming unconscious. Having to drag his body back to Saddlemount, Kaylin had a contact there. They took Shreya to Kaylin's mysterious contact, and she determined that in the battle with Chath, Shreya had been poisoned with a mysterious metal substance, and the only way to cure it was with 5 ingredients. Seeker, you were tasked with finding Shambling Mound sap. Now looking down at the map laid out before you, you see that there is a circle indicating where you can find Shambling Mound sap. Lyra had indicated it on the map for you. You can see on the map there is the different districts of Saddlemount, and you can see just outside of Saddlemount, sort of attached to the outer portion of the city, you can see a series of farms, almost entering into the forests beyond. And you can see one of these farms is circled, indicating that that is where you should go. So, as the rest of the party dashes off with this 24-hour deadline in mind, what would you like to do?
I want to head off towards that farm. Approximately... So, how far is this district from where I am right now, just outside of Lyra's, like heading that way? Approximately how far?
So you're currently pretty close to the coast, actually. And Lyra's shop, the Grumbling Garden Grove, is pretty close to the coast there that you guys had come in through Hayfreed's portal. You can see that the farms are just on the outside near the forest, pretty much on the opposite side of the city. And from what you remember, just a day or two ago, it's going to take you maybe 2 hours if you are making good time. If you're going at a more casual pace, probably double that, 4 hours.
I want to put my hood up and make my way with haste. I want to get really close to the edge of town. And as I start to get closer to this district in this area, I will start to slow down and take an account of what's around and trying to surveil. What I would love to do is get up to this farm and try and see what I can make out of their people inside. Is there commerce? Is there business? What's happening?
Definitely. As you start to exit the main portion of the city, houses become more sparse. The area between them becomes larger and larger and larger. And as you begin looking around, you can see the beginning of the forest. And you can see it might actually be a little more difficult than you thought to find each of these farms, as they are actually implanted themselves into the forest. As you're looking around, what specifically are you looking for?
Well, I'm going to start by looking for... Okay. So, want to find a farm. Looking So start looking for tracks. Are there any trails or maybe any cuts in the brush? Any ways through the trees that look like they've been worn? People have gone through them.
I'm going to have you make an investigation check for me.
Ooh, here we go. I mean, it's not terrible. We get to add to it. Investigation. Oh, 16.
16. You begin to see a couple of different paths going into the forest from here. You see a couple that are a little bit more well-worn, but you do see one that is heading almost directly north. It is a little bit of a smaller path. You're having a tough time sort of picking it out from the overgrowth and the grass and the plants, but you can see some footsteps going through, definitely humanoid, into the forest.
And how many farms do I see on the map? Are there, you said 3? In the area.
In this area, there's 4 that you can see that are directly in this path, or in this sort of area, that if you weren't looking too closely, you could end up at any one of them.
And I look up at the sky. What time of day is it?
You're approaching evening. The sun has just gone down within the last hour, and everything is starting to get dark, and you can see the trees are starting to cast these shadows that you just can't quite see too far into the forest.
Okay. So the path to the north with the footsteps, I want to start moving in that direction. To the north, I'm going to actually not stay on the path. I want to be into the trees. So if I head into the north, I'll go to the left side or the west side of the path and be in the trees enough to keep my eyes on the path, to try and follow it, but I want to obscure myself from sight.
All right. This is going to slow down your pace just a little bit,
okay,
but you are, from your experience, fairly well covered as you're moving through. As you begin to walk down this path, or the path adjacent, you begin darting between the trees. And pretty soon, your leg hits something. Your left leg doesn't quite feel like the same bushes that you're trekking through. And as you look down, you can see a little wooden post in the ground. You look ahead about 5 feet, see another little wooden post. And you see another one, another 5 feet. And you can see a thin string between them. And you see these posts continuing to go in front of you and behind you with this thin little string going between them. And you get the sense that this is probably to mark land. You have probably stumbled across a land marker of a farm to your left. But you do still see this one path going forward.
I want to mark a tree right here. I want to mark the northern side of a tree with a symbol that just lets me know. I'm going to put a triangle and an arrow so if I'm on the north side, to the right, so off to what would be the left if I was facing north, so I can remember that I think there's a farm off to that direction. And then I'm going to continue carefully over this wire, not tripping anything or trying to activate it and head north.
All right.
Am I hearing any, like, as I'm moving, what's going on in this forest? Like, are there birds? Are there animals?
I'm going to have you make a perception check for me.
Oh, I like that. Daddy likes that. So that's going to be a 19.
You look around, and as the forest is getting darker, you do start to see sort of general forest life. A lot of the animals seem to be heading in for the night. You don't see as many birds as you would during the day. You don't see as many little critters, but keeping your ears open, just off to your left, where that farm is, you begin to hear metal whirring and clanging together, almost like some sort of machinery, where this metal continues to bang in this rhythmic noise.
Almost like work's being done, or
more rhythmic than that, almost like a machine.
Interesting. As I look north, do I see a farmhouse yet, or do I see anything, or am I still nothing? Still more forest?
It is tough to see through the tree line, and you really can't see past 30, maybe 35 feet.
Okay.
So it's tough to determine.
This is, want to see what that is. What is a shambling mound sap anyway? Okay, I'm going to go back to my tree.
Okay.
Change my arrow to straight up. And then I'm going to head towards this sound very cautiously.
Okay. As you do, you eventually get to a clearing, an opening in the trees. And the first thing that you see is rows of farmland. You can see rows of crops here. Little different plants and plant life sprouting up out of the ground. You can see that the land is very well tended to. And you spot the source of that sound. You can see what looks like almost like a tall spider, but with 4 legs.
Okay.
Made of machine parts. And each leg, as it moves, whirs and bangs metal together as it moves into a new position and puts its leg into the ground. You can see a little capsule descend from the body. This little metal and wooden capsule, as it drives itself into the ground, digs up one of the plants, shoots it back up into the body, and continues moving in this mechanical, exact motion.
How tall is this spider-like 4-legged thing?
15 feet.
15 feet. Okay, it's pretty tall. The modern wonders of farming. Okay. Rows of farm. Do I see the farm?
Yes, you can see the rows of farmland. You can see all of the crops and the plants that are planted here.
Do I see anyone in this arachnid?
You don't. And looking at the body of it, probably if there was someone piloting it, only about enough space for maybe a gnome or a halfling. Not a whole lot of space as these wiry legs come down and hit the ground. The body of it is actually not that big.
Okay. The rows of crops, are they tall? Are they short? What?
You can see the ones that are close to you seem to be newer crops, and the ones that are further away and the ones that are the furthest away where this mechanical spider creature is going seem to be the most developed crops. Okay. And as this spider moves from crop to crop and descends its body, shoots the pod into the ground and harvests each of the plants, you get the feeling that this is an automated harvesting machine.
Very interesting. I want to make my way around, like shifting opposite of how it's moving. So if it's moving along, I want to kind of circle around.
Okay.
And I want to find a silent approach or an obscured approach, as obscured as possible, towards the farm. I want to see if anyone else is there. I want to kind of see. I guess I'm kind of curious. What are the crops? Like, can I tell what the crops are?
Make a nature check for me.
Super strong on that. Nature boy here. Yeah, that dice roll did not betray my actual nature skills. 5.
It's tough
6.
to tell. You do see most of them are sort of leafy, but it's really tough to pinpoint.
I'm a city boy. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so let's make an approach as stealthily as possible. Trying to not, even though I think it's automated, I don't want to be seen by it. So I want to kind of circle around and see if I can get up to the farm and see what's going on
okay.
in it.
You circle around and
this is open. We're clearing.
Yes. You circle around and
The sun is almost down.
Set at this point.
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
You circle around.
Night vision kick in.
You do have night vision.
I do have dark vision.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you can clearly see a little farmhouse, and right next to it, a barn with both of the barn doors wide open. And from within the barn, you can once again hear the clanging of metal. But whereas the metal that you heard outside with this mechanical spider, that was precise and very rhythmic. The metal clang that you can hear from within the barn is a little bit more scattered, a little bit more organic in its pacing and pattern.
So I'd like to peek in, see if I see anyone doing anything.
All right. You look in and immediately you can see the soft glow of a lantern. And right next to it, kneeled down, you can see what appears to be a human man who is currently working on one of these mechanical spider creatures. The spider creature, the mechanism is completely upside down. So its legs are going straight up into the air, and this human is sort of hunched over and working on the body of this thing.
Okay. I'm going to step back from peeking in and look down at my hand, and I'm going to look at a ring on my hand, and I'm going to just turn it, shift it, and my visage will change from that of a 6'1", mahogany, dark-skinned, bald-headed seeker to that of a fully haired, very light-skinned, like a mocha coffee-colored skin gentleman with a mustache, a slight scar over the left eye, and wearing some pretty plain clothing. And I'm going to knock on the door and walk in and say, hey there, stranger. Gonna get your help for something.
And you can see this gentleman stands up, and as he turns around, you can see a messy tuft of brown hair on top of his head, a very clean-shaven face, and his clothes, while seeming very nice, seem to be very well worn. You can see what was probably once a white collared undershirt, sleeves rolled up to his elbows, browned and dirtied and worn with time. You can see just as worn a black vest over it, and a very loose blue tie, and just a little blue towel over his shoulder. And as he turns around, he wipes the sweat from his forehead and, hi, come in, I guess.
Hi, name's Darian. I'm traveling through these parts and looking for. I've got a kind of a strange request, but I'm looking for some shambling mound sap. Wondering if, and I was pointed in this direction. Wondering if maybe you could assist. I'll say, like, my clothes were to be as plain and farmer-like as I could make them, so I
definitely
somewhat appeal to the good nature of this farmer.
And this gentleman walks right up to you, grabs the towel off of his shoulder, sort of wipes his hand off a little bit. You can see that there's dirt and grease all within his fingers, but he tries to wipe it off as best as he can, and reaches his hand out to shake your hand.
I reach my hand right out.
And firm handshake, and you can even feel like there's still sort of that layer of grease there that hasn't quite been completely rubbed off. And he puts the towel back on his shoulder, and I don't personally deal in shambling mound sap, but if you're looking for my neighbor, I think he might still have some in stock. His name's Silas. Silas Grigg.
Silas Grigg.
Silas Grigg up the road there. He's been, farming with those creatures for, well, as long as I've been here. So,
well, when you write it, I appreciate this very much. Which way up the road? Is there an easy way to get there from here?
Yeah, so I wouldn't really say it's easy necessarily, but if you just exit the property that way, and you should come across, you're going to have to really keep an eye out for it. There's a small little path there, and really keep your eyes open because it's going to be easy to miss. But if you just keep taking that north, maybe about another 15 to 20 minutes on foot, you should be right on his doorstep. Smirk
a little and north. Excellent. Well, look, I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime.
Well, have a good evening. It's actually really important. I have to get going, so.
Hey, no worries. Good to see another face out here. And he reaches out to shake your hand once again.
One more shake, firm shake, and I will turn on my heels and head right back out.
All right, and as you head out, you hear once again the clanging of metal as he begins working once again on his metal spider. You make your way back out to the path.
I'll adjust the ring, go back to secret form.
All right.
Take off in a sprint, feeling pretty safe across this, and just say, north. I should have stayed where I was going. Anyway.
And as you're sprinting, it only takes you about 10 minutes to get to this secondary clearing. You can see, as this clearing opens, you can see very similar sort of rows of farmland. Although these don't have anything in them. You can see sort of off in the distance, almost what look like stables, but again, nothing in them. And as you look off into the corner, right next to the farmhouse, you can see a much smaller one of these mechanical spiders. Doesn't seem to be moving. And from this distance, you can just start to see rust forming all over it. Not in the new condition that you had just seen.
Are there any lights on in any part of the farm or the stables or torchlight? Any indication of?
None in the stables, but as you look into the farmhouse, you can see that there are 2 rooms on the opposite ends of this house. And both of them have windows, and you can see both of them lit from the inside with what might be a torch or a candle. And as you're looking, you see the one on the left go out, turning dark. Now, only the one on the right lit up.
Okay. I'm going to, somewhat cautiously, but feeling pretty confident after the last interaction. And look, it's Silas. We're neighbors now. I'm gonna make my way towards the house. I'm going to activate the ring and turn into Darian again. And I am going to, before I knock on the door, I want to go over to the side of the house where the light is and just see if I can peek in and see if anybody's awake, see if anybody's there. And then I want to come around. So I want to sneak around, look in, and then come back to the door and knock on the door.
All right, I'm going to have you make a stealth check for me as you're approaching this house.
Let's go. That's 29.
Nice.
I don't even see me.
Yeah. You are completely silent moving up to this house, and the soft dirt of this farmland really helps you pad your steps, and you are completely quiet as you approach, and you sneak up.
Much easier than the city. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're finding it. Each footstep is quieter than the last. And as you're approaching this house, you peek in through the window, and you can see one figure inside. You can't quite make out any features, but they are sort of silhouetted by this candle in the corner. You can see them grabbing a couple of bags, opening them up, sort of casually putting a few items in there, closing up the bag, putting the bag on another pile of bags.
Yeah. I'm going to back up from the window and head around to what I perceive as the front door. I'm going to knock on it.
Give me one moment.
No problem. And I'll just kind of back up from the door a little, like to give a little space.
As soon as you back up, you hear a couple of... You can't quite tell what it is, but something hitting the ground. After a minute, the door clicks and opens. Hey, what can I do for you? And in front of you, you see what looks to be almost half dwarven, half human, long white beard, very short, very stocky, but humanoid features, very simple, plain clothing that almost mirrors what you were wearing in your disguise, sort of a light brown tunic, and this old, weathered, wrinkly skin.
Silas Griggs?
Silas, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Name's Darian, and I'll reach out my right hand for a handshake and say, your neighbor just down the road sent me over because I'm looking for some shambling mound sap, and said that you may be able to help me with that.
And he greets your hand with one of the most calloused and rough hands Seeker has ever come across. You're a few days late, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
I'm just packing up and moving south, so I'm terribly sorry.
You don't have any? None. This is a matter of extreme importance.
Not at the moment. I sold all of mine last week, and for a pretty hefty price. I'm moving out of here into somewhere I might be a bit more comfortable.
And I kind of throw my hands up. Well, that's good for you. But is there any way you could maybe tell me where you sold it? Or would they be willing to sell me some?
There was a sort of a rich fellow came by, requested to purchase all of my sap and all of my shambling mounds, and so he could take them back to his property. He's a baron in the city. Lee, I think his name was.
A baron named Lee, rich. What do you do with shambling mound sap anyway?
Well, it's quite good for a few things. You can use it in various mechanical components. It works as quite the lubricant, as well as in spells and things of that nature.
Huh. Okay, this Baron Lee, do you...
Also, quite sweet. Put some in your tea.
So eat it. Got it. I'll try that. Do you have any way to get in contact with this Baron?
He didn't leave me any contact information, just a pile of gold, I'm afraid. But I can tell you where he resides. He had me deliver everything to his well, it's kind of a castle. It's quite impressive.
Castle. Nothing wrong with a sack of gold, by the way.
No.
Good on you. Yes, an address would be great.
All right. Do you have a map or something? I'm afraid I'm not quite good with street names.
My map that I've been looking at. I think I have a map.
Yeah,
I have a map. I'm gonna show him a map and let him point out where it may be.
He had me deliver everything to right about here, and he points onto the map. Sort of the eastern side of Saddlemount, also sort of near the outskirts. He had quite an outfit there. There was plenty of guards, and it seemed that he was stocking up for something. I wasn't the only farmer there delivering things. It seems that he bought out a couple of other farms, and purchased all of their goods as well.
If you don't mind me asking, what are you doing with this land?
Well, I tried to sell it, but unfortunately, land that has been taken up by shambling mounds is not good land for really much else. So I'm just going to let nature do with it what it will.
All right. I'd love to chat. Silas, you're extremely helpful. I need to track down this sap post haste.
Pleasure. You got 2 minutes? Since I gave you all that helpful information, would you help an old man with a bad back? Come here. And he leads you into his house, and he grabs one of the bags, and you can see on the inside of this house, all the shelves have been cleared out. Tables have been cleared. And it seems that he's packing everything into a couple of his bags, and he has you grab a couple of them, takes you out back. He's got a cart with a horse there. Yep. Load him up into the back. There was the rest of my stuff. Well, time to say goodbye to the farm. I appreciate your help.
Not a problem. I'm glad I could help. Thank you for this information.
You're very welcome.
We'll go to good use, I promise.
I'm sure it will. All right.
Oh, question.
Yes.
Best way back to town from here.
There's a small path that you can take. It goes just south here. I look to be the one that you were taking on your way up here, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Yes. All right. Well, I will head out that way. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And I will take off.
All right. As you take off south, you can just start to hear the clopping of the hooves of his horse, of Silas's horse. And as you make your way back into Saddlemount, now you have a new destination. You take the path back to town, and you sort of make your way through the streets. Is there anything that you want to do or look out for on your way to...
Yeah, like when I'm getting close to the district where this castle... I mean, it's probably its own district, but when I can see it in the distance, I want to keep an eye out for taverns, bars, establishments. Specifically, if I see any markings that might be interesting, I want to keep an eye out for markings on the... So I want to look for taverns, and then I want to look for markings either on the signs or around the building, etched into the wood or the plaster.
For sure. Make an investigation check for me.
For sure. Do that. That's going to give me a 16.
A 16. As you are dashing through the city, you come across a tavern that, to the untrained eye, it would probably just look like scratches into the wood. But you quickly identify a marking on this sign. It has got it's a very small circle within a larger triangle, within a larger sort of U shape. And it has a little tail coming down from the very bottom of it.
All right. And on the way back, I would have shifted the ring. I would have rotated the ring back to go to secret form.
Okay.
And seeing this sign, I'll kind of just... I'll just trace it with my fingers and just think back for a moment. Say, this world. Okay, let's go. And I will enter the establishment. I'm guessing it's open.
Yes, it is. It is open. It is filled with people. You could hear the tavern before you saw it.
Okay. I'm going to come in, and before I open the door, hood up, and I'm going to make my way to the bar.
All right. And as you enter this establishment, you're immediately hit with the sounds of a live band. Off in the corner, you can hear the footsteps of dancing people dancing to the music. You smell various foods and drinks and, frankly, body odors.
Yeah.
But this looks like a very lively establishment.
And pretty laser focused. Like, I notice it all. I'm taking it in. I am observing the room. I would love to see if anybody notices me coming in, but I'm not really, even with my eyes, participating in any of it. I want to make a beeline to the bar and try and get the bartender's attention.
All right. It takes a couple of moments. You sort of have to raise your hand a couple of times, try and catch their eyesight. But pretty soon, a young gentleman, looks like a half-elven gentleman, behind the bar, turns around and while in the middle of making another drink, sort of leans over and lends you his ear. Hey, what can I get for you?
Can I get a glass of water, half full, and a napkin, please?
Sure. You don't want anything else? We got some great drinks here.
That is all for now. Thank you.
All right. And he sort of has to yell over the sounds of the bar. But he finishes making his drink and very quickly throws together simple glass of water and a napkin for you.
All right. I will just take it. Do I have a clearing? Do I have a little space on the bar? Can I turn?
Very small space, but yes, you're able to sort of rotate and have your own little...
So I just kind of want to rotate and kind of just have my side, like just my elbow up on the ledge and just kind of lean against and have my glass of water in my right hand and the napkin just kind of underneath it and just surveil the room, just observe the room.
All right. What are you looking for? Anything in particular?
Yeah.
Noticing any trends within the people here?
Yeah. So, I mean, immediately I look to the corners to see if there's any, I mean, I've got a history of dealing with other roguish types, sitting in corners with hoods up, trying to see if there's any dealings or offhanded dealings or just small conversations happening along the edges of the room. Just trying to see if there's any of that happening. Yeah,
you do see a couple of small little dealings. You see a group of 3 humans off in one corner, and they seem to be sort of talking to themselves, making side eyes at other people. If anyone gets too close, and you can see a drunken man sort of dances up and gets a little bit too close to them, and they stop talking and they sort of give him a side eye until he dances off and continues. Then they continue their conversation. You can see in another corner there is another young half-elven gentleman who is in the middle of trying his best to flirt with a young human woman. You can see that there's some flirtation going on, but you can see he's really trying to lay it on thick. And as you're in the middle of sort of surveying this room, a human man sort of bumps up against you and almost knocks your drink over.
Whoa.
And in sort of like this drunkenly stupor, you notice this long leather coat, a wide-brimmed hat that comes down and almost sort of covers his eyes, and a series of necklaces made out of different materials on his collar. And as he bumps into you, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you there. Hey, that's the same order that I get.
Well, then I shall get you your next round.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Yes. Look, I'm new around here, and I'm not planning to stay long, but I could. I'm looking for something to keep me entertained. Looking for something interesting.
Well, I mean, I've got a couple of suggestions, but I think it'd be better if you help me out with that next order first.
I'll flag down the. Excuse me, barkeep. Can I have another water with a napkin, please? And as I'm doing that, my hand is reaching out to this gentleman very, very quietly and stealthily to hand 2 pieces of gold.
And he almost, very convincingly, drunkenly falls into you, but expertly, with fingers like feathers, swipes the gold from you, puts it into his pocket, and sort of backs up. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, I tripped. I didn't mean to. Are you good?
It's okay. Just let's watch the space a little, okay?
Hey, that's okay. You want to come sit with me? I got a table over in the corner.
Okay.
All right. And he takes you over into the corner, and you both sit down. There are still a lot of people around you, but you have sort of found the quietest corner of this place. So you're looking for entertainment? Something to get you through the week?
If it's that long, maybe. But yes, I typically enjoy the theater. But lately I've been playing a lot of cards.
That's funny that you say that. My brother, he's been getting a couple of card games together a week. Are you interested in joining?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Here, I can, I'll get you the name of the place.
Perfect.
And he slides your napkin over, and he makes a quick little note on the napkin. And you look down and you can see scribbled on this napkin the name of a restaurant, the Port's Breeze. And right under that, you can see it says that the card game starts at midnight.
And right now, I'm guessing it's, probably, what are we talking about, 8 or 9?
Probably close to 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he points down to the napkin.
So I will take this information and just kind of say it to myself, Port's Breeze, game starts at midnight. Okay. And I will crumple it up, and I will put it in my water.
All right. And as it goes into your cup of water, you can see the ink flow from the napkin and completely dissolve.
And I'll stir it up a little bit and push it away. And,
I was actually thinking of playing cards tonight if you want me to take you over there.
that would be fantastic. I do need to do one thing first.
Yeah, of course.
How about we meet back here in an hour?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right. And he continues sitting there in the corner. You get up, you head out.
Yep.
What are you doing?
What I would like to do is start surveilling this castle.
Okay. As you approach, you see that the farmer, Silas, blew it a little bit out of proportion when he said castle. It's not quite that. It is quite large, but a little bit more in the size of like a large manor or a large estate.
Would it, compared to where I met Thess, like a nice manor.
Exactly. Yes. Someone who's got quite a bit of money. Someone who has various business dealings, and you can see a large wall around the outside. This white stone wall that has these vines and ivy beautifully sort of creeping up the side of it. And you can see at the very top spikes of iron coming out of the top.
And is it easy enough to make my way around the outside of the wall to check it all out? I'm looking for points that might be hidden in shadow or any doors in the wall.
Definitely. So this manor is.
So the vines you mentioned, do they look sturdy enough, or could I test them? Are they sturdy enough to climb?
Looking around at these vines, they do seem to be very decorative. Lots of leaves coming off of them. Nothing sturdy enough to grab.
And the iron spikes all the way around, are they decorative or are they protection?
They look decorative up to the point of their spikes at the very top, which do seem to be a deterrent of someone hopping the walls. But they are placed and crafted in sort of a, as much as you can, delicate manner.
And making my way just around this wall, what else do I notice? Do I notice any doors? Do I notice any other points of potential egress? Or is there just one main?
So, yes, you do see the main gate. And at the main gate, you do see a single guard there in studded leather armor with a spear that they're holding at their side and a very small shield wrapping their forearm. I'm going to have you make an investigation check to see if you can find any other entrances.
11.
You do see sort of on the back corner of this wall, you do see where some of the stone has been cracked a little bit. You don't know if you'll be able to do anything with that, but it just does seem to be a slight weakness that none of the other points have.
I would presume that would probably take a good... How far is that from the establishment I was just at? Could could have done that in, say, a half hour or so?
Oh yeah, it would have probably taken you a half an hour.
This Port's Breeze, is it close enough for me to stop by and take a look at prior to going back to meet my new friend?
Well, it depends what your timeline is going to look like.
My idea is
it will take you about 20 minutes of walking in order to get to the Port's Breeze.
Okay. So in that case, I'm going to head back to the establishment and meet my friend, and so he can take me to the card game.
All right. You meet back up with him, and he sort of, acting drunkenly, puts his arm around you and sort of stumbles and
whoa there, friend. Hold on. Steady
puts
yourself.
his weight on you, and he says, "No, we're good. We're going.
What did I tell you about personal space?
And
Goodness.
as soon as you exit the bar, stands up straight, sort of straightens his coat, wipes it off a little bit, wipes some of the dirt off. Pleasure to meet you. Let's go.
Pleasure to meet you.
And continues walking off. You both walk about 10 minutes, and after about 10 minutes, you both make it to the Port's Breeze. You look at the front of the Port's Breeze, and it is a beautiful establishment and very quiet. Just sort of barely through the front doors, you can hear a very subtle chime of a piano being played masterfully. And as you approach the front, your new companion walks you right in, walks you around through some of the tables, and you can see each of the tables. Each of them are these circular tables, each with 4 chairs at each of them. You can see the chairs have these beautiful satin cushions on each of them. The tables have this white linen tablecloth over all of them. Each of them have vases with flowers in the middle, and you both sort of weave your way through these tables. You hear various conversations. You hear a couple who's on a date night. You hear a couple who are having a business dealing. And as you're making your way through...
Any of the tables that we're making our way... Do any of them have any like bread or any crackers or anything that I...
Yes, actually, each of these tables has like a little basket that has some. I
would love to just swipe one as we're walking. And just swipe a bread.
Make a sleight of hand check.
All right. It's gonna be a 21.
21. You're walking through, and you see that there's a gentleman right in front of you that you're heading towards in a beautiful suit, just very neatly pressed. And you can see him just lean back as the start of a sneeze. And as he puts his head down into sort of his elbow area, you time it perfectly where you swipe a piece of bread off of his plate. And as he finishes his sneeze and comes back, he sort of looks down at his plate and looks around, and a piece of bread has just disappeared from his plate.
And as we're walking, I just kind of say, classy joint. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't make a habit of coming here except for when I need to. And you both pass through the doors into the kitchen, and you can see the kitchen is much more bustling than the dining room. The dining room is very quiet and reserved. The kitchen is a site of organized chaos. And as you weave your way through all of the chefs and the cooks, and being careful not to be stabbed by any of these knives that they're cooking with.
Whoa.
You make your way into the back storage area, and your new companion moves a barrel out of the way of the corner, lifts up a hatch, and you can see a ladder descending down. You both descend the ladder, and once you get to the bottom, it opens up into a room about 20 feet by 20 feet. You can see this room is a little small area. You can see a bar off in the corner, but notably, you can see a wall, one of these walls, entirely covered in loose pieces of paper. You can see different sheets that say reward on them. You can see different bounties placed there. And you can see all of these different papers all pinned to this wall.
Is there anybody else in the room?
Yes, there are 3 other people in this room.
I will turn to my new friend and chewing on my bread. Interested in a piece of bread?
No, I'm full.
Quite tasty.
No, I'm full.
I haven't eaten in a while. So, I could use some help. I'm looking for something, for an item. Shambling Mound sap. And been told there's a person in town, an important person, that will have a lot of it.
Hey, boys, this guy's looking for Shambling Mound sap. And they all sort of cover their mouths and start laughing to themselves. I'm sorry, friend. You are here about a week late for Shambling Mound sap.
What do you mean?
It's all stocked up in the manor, and there is
the Lee Manor.
Yes.
Yes, this is the person. Okay, so you know this. I'm going to have to liberate some.
You're gonna have to.
What's so funny?
Oh no. Sorry, no. I just.
It is a matter of life and death. I must.
It always is. How many times have you tried? And he leans over to one of the other gentlemen in this little room, and he goes, I think last time was 4. 4? Yeah. No, I've never gotten actually into it. I've gotten past the wall, but not actually into the manor. You want to get into the manor?
Not particularly, but I do need sap. So yes.
Good luck.
I want to like walk around the room, like the wall with the wanted signs.
Yeah.
Do any of these faces show up on any of those signs?
Make a perception check.
Man, look, let's go. Perception, that's a 18.
An 18. You don't see any on this wall that match up with these 4 gentlemen. You look on the other wall, though, and there's about 15 wanted posters. All of these 15 have one of these members on them, and you can see that each of these, the photos or the drawings of these gentlemen all have like funny mustaches drawn on them or like weird glasses. It seems sort of like a mocking of these wanted posters.
Yeah. So you've gotten past the wall. First of all, you can call me Seeker. What are your names?
We don't do that.
That's fine.
Here.
You've gotten over the wall. What about the rest of you? And why are you so scared?
Well, the guards of the Lee Manor, they aren't really ones to turn you into the town guard. They're the kind of people with the money to just drive a spear through your chest and bury you in the backyard, and no one's the wiser.
I've met people like this before. But I just saw one at the front gate. How many guards does he have?
Well, I mean, we've seen the one at the front, and then there's usually about 4 of them patrolling the grounds outside the house. Now, like we said, we haven't seen anyone go in, but when we scoped it out last time, we did see there was a rotating shift of about 15 that patrol the inside. I can't tell you where they go or where they're stationed, but I'd say on a good day, 15 inside.
I will pay you for information and a little bit of help. I don't need you to go in. I can handle that.
Oh yeah, we're not going in.
Of course. But I could maybe use some kind of a diversion. But I need to know what you know, and I will pay you.
All right. Well, there is a very secretive service entrance in the back. We noticed that there weren't any guards going in through the front, and they were always rotating their guards, and I'm pretty sure the guards don't live in the manor. They had to be getting in somehow. They've got a section of the wall that mechanically sort of can be deconstructed and reconstructed to continue looking like the normal bit of the wall. We've tried to blast through the wall one time, but that didn't work out well. Those walls are thick.
I think I saw that area.
Yeah, I mean, saw our efforts, unfortunately. But yeah, you're not going to be getting over that wall. You're not going to be getting through that wall. The only way is through either that main entrance or the service entrance in the back.
I'm just going to call you Jimmy. How did you get in? You said you got over the wall, or you got through the front entrance? How did you get in the last?
I got over the wall, but and he sort of reaches down and rolls up his pant leg, and you can see this massive gash through his leg.
Ooh.
Once they
that looks painful.
It hurt for quite a bit. The thing with the wall is if you go over, you're going to be seen from just about every one of those guards. It's possible. If they don't see you, you'd be able to land in there if you can get over the spikes and everything. But it presents a pretty big target.
Who else? Has anyone else here tried?
Oh, we've all tried with various levels of success.
Any other information you can give?
I mean, if you're going to be sneaking in there, be quiet. If you're going to be getting in there any other way,
you think the rear entrance is like the guards? Maybe they live back there, or that's where they.
That's where they enter and exit. That's where they also bring in new shipments of food and supplies, things of that sort.
Okay. Have you, in any of your time, have you noticed any kind of a regular timing of shipments coming into the back?
Well, yeah, they usually bring them in late at night. It's most nights, but you got to catch them at the right time. It's tough to catch them at the right time. And they also patrol. They have people patrolling outside of the walls. So if they see anyone staring at the walls for too long, they get you on your way.
Okay. I think I have a couple of ideas. Anything else you can give me? Any other recommendations?
Recommendations? Don't do it.
Other than that, yes. Okay. I knew you would say that. But I don't have a choice. I'm going. So, thank you. And I will, you know what? I think I could use your help for maybe a distraction. Some sort of
distraction we could do.
This would let me maybe get into the front or the back. All right.
What kind of distraction do you need?
What would get the guards' attention in the front? Maybe a fight? Maybe some drunken toughs walking up to the gate?
Yeah, I think we could make that work.
Okay. That would be great. So let's plan on this distraction happening in, let's say 1 hour.
1 hour. You got it. All right, boys, let's get ready. And they start picking up their stuff. And
I will hand them a bag of coins. I'll reach into my backpack and just barely reach my hand in, just like to the top. And then we'll come out with a bag of coins, 4 of them. So I will hand them each, out of that bag, I will hand them each 3 gold.
They all take them. And the companion that you came into this room with, as he's sort of packing up his stuff, he comes over, he pats you on the back, and he says, "Hey, you're a pretty good card player." And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a playing card and hands it to you. And you can see that there is a little symbol of a blue dragon on this card.
Okay. Just a blue dragon.
It's a little like artfully done sketch of a blue dragon.
Anything else on the other side, or just like?
No.
I will take it.
Okay. And the four of them open up the hatch to the ladder, climb out.
They leave. I will leave. What I would like to do in this hour is, so I saw the guard. I saw what the guard is wearing. I would like to see if I can catch any kind of merchants, any delivery service. If I can make out which direction they may come to the service entrance from. And I want to get some distance from the wall. I don't want to be obvious with the wall, but I want to try and see if I can find anyone making their way in. Ooh, are there any so as we're walking out, I'll just ask where's the likeliest place that they would get bread for the manor? Who would deliver?
I mean, the Rising Tide is one of the most popular bakeries in town. It's also pretty big. I would assume that they could stock them up pretty well.
Where would I find this Rising Tide?
It's going to be about 4 blocks over to the east.
Okay.
It's, I mean, a big place. You're not going to miss it.
I'll make my way there. And what I want to do is, it's late, so they're making bread for the city, so they may be open. I want to scope out the operation a little bit.
All right. You get to the Rising Tide, and you can see it is quite a large building, and this is one of those places.
Does it smell good, like that baking bread smell?
Incredible. Yeah.
Oh my God, it reminds me of my mom baking bread. So good.
And as you approach, you can see
still eating one of the rolls.
Yeah,
from the restaurant,
You can see, as you sort of survey this building, you can see just out of the back, very quietly, in sort of a dark corner of this building, you can see a couple of people, just shadowy figures, seem to be loading up a cart with a couple of boxes.
How many figures can I make out?
You can make out 2.
2. Okay. I'm going to watch them for a moment.
Okay.
And see how many of them take off with the cart. Maybe both, but I don't know. I want to see how many start, like as they start to get ready to go. I want to see how many, because what I am trying to assess is how I'm going to intervene and intercept.
Okay. You can see them both loading up the cart, and you watch as they finish loading the cart. Mm-hmm. One of them goes back inside. One of them hops onto the horse and begins riding off. Just one of them leaving with the shipment.
So what I want to do is reach into my side pocket of my bag and pull out a ring and put it on. And I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, dismount, and cast command.
Okay.
At them.
Is that a roll on my end?
It is. And it is a wisdom. Let's see. Wisdom saving throw.
That's a 7.
Does not beat a 14.
Okay. This woman who's on the horse completely stops the horse. A glaze goes over her eyes. She puts the reins down, hops off the horse.
Where is the street well lit? Is it what are we?
No, this is like a dark alleyway.
Okay. So what I'm going to attempt to do now is cast sleep. And this ring has it has a text, some symbols all around it. It's not Elvish. It's not. I don't know what it is. Seeker doesn't know what it is. And they glow slightly when it's being used to cast. And as I look at this woman, I'm going to say, sleep. $21?
21?
So 21. So if that's enough hit points to make the creature fall asleep, then they would...
She collapses onto the ground.
Okay, and I will quickly, yet quietly, move over to her and pick her up and move her back towards the Rising Tide.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I would not do this if this was not important. and I will go hop on the horse and head off to make a delivery. And as I hop on the horse, I will take that ring off and look at it and shudder. Ugh. Put it back in a pocket, and I will turn my other ring, and I will look as close to her as possible, but it's going to be about a 6-foot version of her.
Okay. All right. All of a sudden, your hair lengthens into like a shoulder-length, dirty blonde, and your clothes begin to morph and warp into the clothes that she was wearing, which was a much lighter leather armor. And pretty soon you look exactly like this woman.
And I'm going to make my way over to the manor, to the rear.
Okay.
And hopefully timing-wise, we're pretty close. Like what I'm going to wait for, I'm going to wait for the... Actually, I'm not going to wait for it. I want to go slightly before they're going to start making the ruckus at the front. And I'm going to head up to the service entrance and knock on the door, because I'm assuming that's what you do.
All right. You look where the wall is. I'm going to have you make a investigation check.
Okay.
Because you can see that this wall is entirely flush.
Oh.
And from what they had described to you, it's sort of a hidden,
it's hidden
entrance.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, dang it, I should have got the exact location. That's a 16.
A 16. Okay. You're looking at this wall and you cannot find any differences
Dang it.
in the texture of the wall.
Okay. I am going to... So my... I'm going to try this. I'm going to... On my left ear, where I have the copper wire earring along my ear, I'm going to just rub it and whisper into my hand, hello, are you close? To my friend who I just met who gave me the blue dragon card to see if they are near.
What's the range on that?
120 feet.
120 feet?
I mean, it's a pretty big manor, so it may not.
No. No. You would not get a response. And yeah, looking at this place, the diameter of the wall,
Yep.
or the diameter of this whole compound is more than 120 feet.
God damn it. Okay, I will turn the ring, turn back into Seeker. I want to look into the wagon. Is there any, like, there's bread, yeah?
Yes.
I just want to take a piece.
Okay.
And start eating it. And then I want to, I'm going to turn the ring. I want to just turn into just like a disheveled, like a local drunk that's stumbling through town. And I'm going to work my way around to the front gate.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and keep a bit of a distance, muttering things. The sky's falling.
All right.
How am I supposed to eat it with a fork? Huh? It's always the fork. And then I'm waiting for my distraction to begin. And at that point, I'm going to make my way. As they start to move up, I want to move up kind of alongside them.
Okay. You do see, as you're approaching the front, you do see this group of 4 gentlemen beginning to walk towards the front. And you can see they're all like sort of stumbling over each other. They're laughing to themselves.
I'm just walking like, old gods, new gods. I just want a god in a bottle. Tastes good.
All right. And the other 4 get to the front and they sort of see you.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit of a confused look on their face, but they continue on and they stumble up to this guard.
I'll just nod, I'll try and give a nod of keep going.
All right. And one of them stumbles up to this guard. And you can see the guard standing there very rigidly. And he throws his arm over the guard's shoulder and he says, you know what I think about it all? I don't even think you're ready to know what I think about all of this. It's not even just the little bits. It's the entire system of it. And you can see this guard beginning to get very frustrated and pushing him off And all four of them begin to sort of like walk up, and he goes, "No, well, he says that he's part of this big thing, and he's so important."
So in this, I'm just looking for just a moment to slip by. Is the gate? What is the position of the gate right now?
You can see that there is a gate there that this guard is standing in front of. It looks to be like a cast iron gate. You can see through it. You can see to the manor, but the spaces in between each of these bars is very, very small. Very small.
And the gate itself is closed. Does he have any keys on him?
He does have keys down by his side. Yes.
Okay. We're gonna burn another one. We're gonna try this again. I'm going to just kind of groan, reach in, pull out that ring with the symbols, all sigils all around it, and look at him and just say, paralyzed.
Okay. That's a 17.
He succeeds.
Okay. And as soon as these four gentlemen see that you cast that, the guard looks to you. And he grabs his spear. And he lunges towards you. And all four of these supposed drunkards just start beating him up. Start punching the shit out of him.
Let's go.
As they all like knock him to the ground and just start like kicking him in the ribs. And one of them, the companion who took you in originally, throws himself down on the ground next to this guard who's now on the ground, wraps his arm around his throat, and starts choking him until he's unconscious as this guard now passes out. And he looks to you and he goes, what was that?
It didn't work. Sorry.
Okay, well, I mean, we're gonna make do with what we have as they start like stripping the guard down, and one of them starts like putting on his armor. Yeah, here, take the keys.
Here, and I just hand out like 4 more gold. I'm like, thank you. And I want to take the keys, and I want to enter the gate as quickly and quietly as possible.
Okay, and by the time you get through the gates, your companion has fully put on the guard's uniform, is now standing there with the spear as the other 3 are silently dragging him back into one of the alleyways of the city.
They are good. It's fantastic. Okay.
As you walk in, you see that there are actually several buildings within this manor. You can see one off to your left that looks like a little bit of a shack, but the main manor directly in front of you is massive. You can see just walking away with his back towards you, you can see another guard sort of dipping down around the manor.
How well lit is it around the manor? Are there torches, sconces?
There are sconces all along the outside of the manor, keeping it very well lit. You can see a couple of darkened corners, but for the most part, it is pretty well lit.
Okay.
You can also just begin to hear another guard walking around the other corner of the manor, making his way towards you. You can't quite see him yet, but you can hear the footsteps making their way towards you. What would you like to do?
So the guard that is walking away from me right now,
yes.
I want to kind of 1 for 1 match the steps going that direction. And do I see, it looks like maybe there's a building. Is there a building off in that direction or doors?
Off to your left?
Yes.
Yes. So you make your way silently in perfect timing.
And in my head, I'm just like, okay, shambling mound sap. Where would I be if I was think like the sap? Where would the sap be?
And you walk into this building.
Yes.
Off to the left. And you can see that this building is filled with paperwork. You can see a couple of open books.
Not sap.
And you can see paperwork. You do notice one of these books that is open does seem to have a list of the current inventory of the compound.
Let's read. I want to read through that. I want to.
Okay. As you are
And quietly,
reading
because
through
there's
it,
a guard coming behind.
yes. As you are reading through that, you can hear the guard that was circling around towards you, moving around.
Mhm.
You can hear his footsteps just outside the door, and you can hear him just pass.
Just go by. Okay.
But now, looking at it, you can see that there's probably a series of guards circling this compound. As you're reading through it,
Why do they always do circling guards? It's not the best. It is not the best way, but I mean, I like it.
I'm going to have you make an investigation check.
Carry the 1, and then that's going to be 24.
24. Very quickly, you
Sorry,
find...
22.
22, nice. Very quickly, you find both the shambling mounds and the sap. You can see that the shambling mounds are being kept in an underground farming area.
Why is it always underground?
Underneath this compound. You can see the sap itself, however, seems to be held in a storage area out sort of in the back, still on this ground level.
Back, so I'm in the front, so in the back of the manor from where I am.
In the back of the manor
as far away from where I am as possible. Okay.
And you can see each of these items is labeled, as well as obviously where they are. And you can see a little guide on there as well. You get a little layout of this manor itself. You can see the shed that you are currently in. You can see the manor itself, and you can also see this storage area out in the back. And from what you can see, it is completely walled off from the outside, except for a small little hallway that attaches itself to the main manor.
With no entrance from the outside?
With no entrance from the outside. It looks like you have to go through the manor and enter through the manor. Or at least that's what this diagram is describing.
Do I have any... Can I see the manor? Are there any windows? Can I see the manor from here?
You would have to peek out the front door, but as you do, you just hear another guard pass by in front. And as they pass by, it goes silent once more.
All right. So I want to peek out, and I want to... So I know there's a front door to the manor that I saw when I was coming through the main entrance. If I look to the left or right, are there any other points of entry? Looking for windows, any other doors, any kind of...
You can see 2 windows on either side of the entrance.
Okay.
But with the way that these walls and everything are set up, you can't really see the sides of the manor from where you currently are. You're just seeing this massive front face of the manor.
So with the guards circling, if I look straight ahead of where I am out this door, do I see the next guard coming yet, or?
No, you do not. The other guard just passed in front of you before you peeked out.
So I want to dart over to the front door.
Okay.
And see if it's open. I mean, why wouldn't they leave it open? It's open, yeah?
It is locked.
Of course. I want to try my keys. The keys from the gate man.
You fumble through the keys. I'm going to have you make a sleight of hand check to see how quickly you can make your way through these keys.
That's going to be a 17.
A 17. You start making your way through these keys. The first one doesn't unlock it. You can see there's about 5 keys on this one.
5 keys.
The second one doesn't unlock it. The third one doesn't unlock it. You start to hear footsteps coming around the corner.
Come on.
And just as you see a guard rounding the corner, the fourth one opens it. You step inside, you close the door behind you.
Exhilarating. Okay. As I walk in, what do I see? Am I in like a foyer or like...
Yes, you are in this little entrance area, and you can see to both your right and your left, you can see little almost like display areas showcasing some artwork of the manor. There are statues in each of them, and just like a little art entrance here.
This time of night, how lit up is the inside of the manor? I'm seeking shadow, darkness.
The inside of this manor is actually quite a bit darker than the outside.
Okay.
It's not quite as well lit, and you can see, especially at this time of night, most of the sconces and the torches and the candles inside have been extinguished.
Being right here in the front entryway, do I hear any voices? Do I hear any footsteps? Is this a 2-story manor? Is there...
It is. You can tell it from the outside. It is a 2-story manor.
Okay.
And you can just hear conversations from what you assume is 2 guards. You can't exactly place where the voices are coming from, but you can tell it might just be outside of this little entranceway and to the right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So straight ahead of me is an opening hallway. So to my right, where I think I hear these voices, do I see a doorway that they might be behind?
If you just peek out of this into this hallway,
If I peek out of the foyer,
you can see that there is an open doorway, no door there, but it is an open entranceway into another room.
Okay.
And you can, as you're peeking out into this hallway, you can pinpoint that that's where the voices are coming from.
So what I want to do here, I'm going to step back into the foyer.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out a red 10 out of my bag, and I'm going to slide it back. And it's full. You're looking at it. It's got like a viscous oil, kind of like a petroleum jelly type. And I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to rub it on my. I'm gonna just rub it on my finger, actually, my fingertip, my forefinger, and rub it on my throat, and just whisper to myself, "Who?" And then, what they're gonna hear off across the way from where they are. So if I'm looking down the hallway to the left, what they're gonna hear is, what sounds like some books falling, or like some books falling to the ground.
All right. And as soon as that happens, you hear the sound of books falling. You can hear the guards. What? Oh, not again. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. As one of the guards crosses the hallway, opens up the doorway to the other side of the hallway, and walks into the room.
And while that happens, I want to peek out, and in that room to the right where the guard came from, I want to make a whisper. So I'm gonna whisper to myself, "Who?" And in the back of the room, I want them to hear a whisper that says, "I'm over here."
Oh no. No. Is someone there? Hello? And if anyone's there, you're going to get stabbed by a spear. As you can hear their footsteps moving away.
As they start to move
down
away,
into this room.
I want to quickly go across the opening and look for the next room.
All right, you make your way down the hallway.
Yeah, what am I seeing?
And you can see that at the end of this hallway, off to your left, it sort of opens up. You can see a staircase leading both up and down.
Okay.
At the end of that little bit, you can see there is another room off there to your left. If you go to the right, however, you can see it opens up. There's a little hallway that then opens up into a much larger room. Where are you going?
I'm going to go right into this larger room. I'm going to be scanning for any movement, motion, voices in there, but I'm going to go into that room.
All right.
I want to tuck myself in.
As soon as you walk into this room, you see that there is a shrine to the old gods. And looking around, you see a lot of imagery that reminds you of Laurus.
Interesting.
It looks like this is a personal worship area.
Huh. Did not expect that. Intrigued. I'm going to... So I know that I just still need to go through here and towards the back a little bit more to get to that open area, or the area where the sap is.
Yes.
Just glancing, like looking at the altar, or like the front part of this room. Is there an altar? Is there a table? Like,
yes, there's an altar, and then there are two rugs off to either side.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like sort of worship areas, but yes, there is a central sort of kneeling area right in front of a shrine.
Oh goodness, don't feel bad. I feel bad stealing from you, but I'm still going to do it.
I don't know what that was. There aren't any books over here on the ground.
Yeah, no
As
strange.
you can hear a door open, footsteps crossing the hall.
I want to quietly move to the left side of this altar room, moving towards the next opening and peek into the next space and see if there's any, is it an open doorway or is that a door that
It is an open doorway that you can see leading off into this next room. And as you approach it, you hear voices from inside. What is he talking about? Books? I don't know. I'm just going to leave him as he is. And as you peek in, you see two more guards in here, both sitting at a large dining table, eating what looks to be their dinner, but just it looks like they're taking a little break and eating in this large dining area. You look in and you can see a long table with ornate imagery carved into each of the legs and into the wood itself. You can see intricately carved wooden chairs around this table as well, and a massive stained glass window on the other side.
All right, so looking at the altar, I'm gonna pull out my oil, my jelly, and rub it. Just take a bigger goop and rub my hands. And looking at the altar, I will say a word. I'll say a word to myself, and that word is cool. And what will happen is a purple flame will start to burn. A magical flame will start to burn. And I want it to be pretty bright. I want to try and get their attention. And as I'm doing this, I want to tuck myself in this corner and hide as well as I can with my black cape. I want to hide as well as I can in this corner. And if I can get their attention, I want to use thaumaturgy one more time to say, here. Yeah.
So you cast this, and all of a sudden, the light extends out from it, and you can see these rays of purple light just extending off into the into this dining area. You can hear both of their forks drop, and then the voice. They both stare at each other. No, I'm not going to go over there. You go over there. Okay, I'll go over. One of the guards gets up, starts moving towards the entrance. He backs away and he says, "No, I'm not going alone. You have to come over here too." And the other guard finishes chewing his bite and goes, Okay. Give me 1 second. And they both walk into the room.
As they walk into the room, I want to slip ever so quietly around the corner of the wall into the dining room where they were.
As you do, and as you're crouching there, actually, one of the guards passes within inches of you.
Woo!
And they continue walking in, looking at the shrine. As you just make your way around the wall into the dining area, you get a better sense of the space of this room. What would you like to do?
And that flame that'll burn for 1 minute. So
Okay.
hopefully it'll keep their attention for that much time. Trying to get my bearings in this room. Is there an exit? Is there a door out of this room?
Yes, you can see one more exit off on the left side of this room. And you can see that there is a doorway that leads you don't know where.
So and this door closed.
The door is closed.
But I'm making my way to the door and I want to just check. I want to put my ear on it, see if I hear anything on the other side. And I want to kind of just, I want to check the frame. I want to, is it a knob or a handle?
It is a handle.
So without turning the handle, I want to assess it, see if it will make noise, if it's got any kind of an alarm on it.
Make an investigation check for me.
That's an 18 plus 6, so that's like 24.
Nice. Just barely checking all of the door. It looks to be a normal door. It doesn't look to have any traps on it. It looks to be a normal door.
Do I hear anything on the other side?
You do not.
It's open. Is it open? Is it locked?
It is not locked.
All right, then I want to enter this door and look. I believe I should be getting closer to the rear of the manor. Do I see? So if I look to my right, what do I see?
As you open the door and go into this room, you are not able to hear them, but you just see a guard leaning up against the wall, fighting to stay awake. Sort of in that in and out of sleep. They're leaning up against the wall. You can see that their spear is leaning up against the wall as well. And you can see them just barely trying to keep their eyes open.
I didn't actually take the ring off for sleep, so I'm going to very quickly just say, I'm gonna turn the ring and say sleep,
and immediately their head leans and boom, hits the wall.
Oh my goodness!
As they fall fully asleep.
Oh my goodness! Okay, that was clear. And I want to look to my right now that surprise has been found. And actually, looking down at my left hand, I'm going to pull the ring off.
Okay.
And put it back in my bag and say, "You can't stay here. You must go."
Looking to your right, you see a much heavier door. This door, you can see, is made of wood, but you can just tell it's this thick, dark wood.
The door behind me I closed.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to make sure I close that.
It's this thick, dark wood with intricate carvings in it. You can see golden handles on either side and a golden lock right there on each of the doors.
I've got to try it and see if it's unlocked.
It is not. It is very much locked.
Very locked.
You can barely even turn the handles.
I want to go pat down this guard. Does this guard have any keys?
The guard does have a key. Notably, the key that you find is a single key, not on a ring like the others. And this key is much bigger, both in length and also just in its sturdiness. The material seems heavier.
And from the inventory, this room behind here, from what I remember in the layout, it just has the sap.
It has a couple of other items in there as well, but if you were just looking for the sap, this is where it is located.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, I will take said key, and I will make my way to that door and try and open it. Turn the key.
Okay.
It's a beautiful key.
You walk inside, and you see a short hallway in front of you. Continue walking down the hallway. And it opens up into a large storage room. You can see that there are a couple of torches lit here, as there are no windows to the outside. There are no doors to the outside. This is a fortified room. But you can see a couple of torches lit, as well as these shelves that are just filled with different ingredients. You can see various potions on the shelves, and seemingly a million different things on all of these shelves.
Any labels? Do I hear any people or any footfalls? Is there anyone?
In here, it is eerily quiet. It seems like all of the sound is completely trapped within this room.
I want to start searching the shelves and look for anything that says Shambling Mound Sap or anything like that.
Okay. You start looking around and you can see the individual bottles and the individual items are not labeled, but you can see on the shelves themselves little plaques right next to the large groupings of items. I'm going to have you make an investigation check.
Don't fail me. Oh, no. It's a natty.
That's a natural one.
It turns out I never learned to read.
It's going to take you some time to look through this. You make an initial pass. See if you can find it quick. You can't. What would you like to do? You can continue looking, but the longer you stay in here,
Yeah.
the guard outside has a chance of waking up, as well as other guards having a chance to come by and wake him up. So with that in mind, what are you going to do?
Can't stay too long. Said it was kind of a sap and seemed... He said it tastes good. God, I don't want to just start tasting things, but I can't. Okay.
If you want to investigate and look at these labels closer, you definitely can, but time is not on your side.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Since this just happened, like this is a new shipment. Is there anything, like as I'm looking at these, is there dust on any of the vials? Do any of them look newer, fresher? As I'm looking at the places where they're sitting, are there outlines of...
You can see certain items have a small layer of dust over them.
Okay.
Whereas others, the bottles...
A nice fine patina.
Yes.
Dust.
Some of the bottles are shiny. Okay. Some of them are a little bit more dulled.
So I want to look for the shiny side. I want to look for more of the shiny, and I'm... Sounds like it's edible, so I want to look for one of the bottles that's shiny and read the label. I want to investigate the label, and
okay,
that's what I want to do.
You look and you see the little plaque next to it. It is not Shambling Mountain.
Not Shambling Mountain. Oh, good thing I didn't try that. Okay. Looking for more.
As you look for the next one, you begin to hear shouting from just outside down the hallway.
Great.
This has got to be what? The fourth time this week that you've fallen asleep on the job? This is unacceptable. No. Get your things and get out.
Is this door, the second set of doors that I just came through, are they lockable from the inside?
You did not see a lock. You would have to run down the hallway and check.
From the outside. All right, so I want to... In this room, if somebody were to walk in, is there a way to obscure myself from them seeing me when they walk in?
If you wanted to go up against one of the walls that's near the hallway, you could hide yourself up against one of the walls. That's pretty much it.
If I make my way around this room, are there any other compartments, any other doors, any other... In the floor, are there any... Well, this is not in the basement. The Shambling Mounds are in the basement.
As you're looking around, you hear the doors to the hallway open.
Doors to the hallway open.
And you hear footsteps coming down the hallway. What are you going to do?
I'm going to make myself tiny and near the edge of the wall there. So when someone comes in, I'm going to hide. I'm going to hide. And I'm going to prepare a... I'm gonna prepare a command. So I've got to put this.
All right.
Damn
he walks
ring on
out
again.
of the hallway.
I put the ring on
into the room.
I put the ring on, and I'm. What does he do when he walks in the room?
He starts looking around, from right to left.
And I'm on the left.
He's scanning the room.
I will say, stop.
You rolled a 6.
That does not beat a 14.
No, that does not. As his head creaks to a stop, and he stands there frozen.
I want to move around to the back of him.
Okay.
And I'm going to just check what effect to the target. How long does this last? Last one round. Okay, so I want to move around to the back of him, and I want to pull out a dagger, turn it, and hit him on the back of the head as hard as I can to try and knock him out.
All right. I'm going to have you...
He's not wearing a helm, is he?
He is not. I'm going to have you roll a d6 for me. Two. Boom. He collapses.
I am going to reach into my bag and grab some rope and tie I'm gonna stuff like a shirt into his mouth, tie it, and I'm gonna bind hands and feet. It's gonna take a second, but I'm gonna bind hands and feet.
Okay.
And drag him to the side.
Okay. As you do, he is bound and gagged.
Is he a big guy? It's probably gonna take me a minute. Not the strongest.
It's gonna take you a minute. But you get the gag in there first. He is not able to say anything.
Okay, Shambling Mound. Where would I be? Okay, back to search. Shambling Mound. I'm sap. You can put me in tea.
Make another investigation check for me.
Let me look. That is an 18.
An 18. Okay. You know the section that you checked.
Yes.
And now you go over and being a little bit more thorough and a little bit more cautious with how you're checking. You look off in the last row, in the last corner.
Of course.
You see vials of sap.
Okay.
Shambling Mound sap.
I'm going to take, let's see. I'll take 3 vials.
3 vials. Okay, you stuff 3 vials in your pocket.
Should be enough, right? She didn't say how much. I'll take 2 more.
Okay, you have 5 vials of Shambling Mound sap. What are you doing?
1 more, because I heard it's good in tea. And some
You've
of them
got
like
6
tea.
vials of Shambling Mound sap.
Okay, yes. Now I'm going to try and retrace my steps back out to where the sleeping guard was.
Okay.
And as I'm walking by the guard I knocked out, I'm just like, I'm so sorry.
He was woken up. They were yelling at him that he was sleeping on the job
that
too
guy,
much.
he was-
That's the same guy.
Oh, it's the same guy. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was getting his stuff and heading out. All right, so I want to... Do I hear anything past these really nice golden gilded doors? I don't know. Could I hear through them? I mean, they're pretty...
They're thick doors. You wouldn't be able to hear through them.
Idea. I'm going to go back to this guard.
Okay.
Does he have his spear and his shield?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so I'm going to grab them, and I'm going to take off that damn command ring, put it away, and I'm going to turn my other ring and look like, we shall call you Zachary. I'm going to look like Zachary.
Okay. All right. And immediately your vision begins to change, and soon enough you look exactly like this guard. You are holding his shield and his spear as you walk back down the hallway.
I'm gonna walk back down, and I want to go through the. This is the guard that got fired, right? Like
Yes.
Do I see any water or any like a glass of water? I can go back through the kitchen area?
Yes, you would be actually going back through the dining room.
Through the dining room area?
There are 2 glasses of water from where the guards were eating.
Dip my hands into the water and rub it like from my eyes, like down my cheeks. And as I make my way into this little temple area, just kind of
You make your way into the temple area, or into the this little shrine. You make your way back out into the hallway, and as you make your way back,
and like walking by the shrine, it's like, bye, Lars. Bye. I tried.
And as you walk back into the main hallway, you see the 4 other guards that you had seen throughout this manor.
Can't even look them in the eye.
They look at you and they go, disgraceful.
Eyes downcast. I know.
And you walk right past them as they look at you, shaking their heads. You walk out to the front area. You walk out the front. Down the steps, you see another guard passing in front of you.
Don't. I just can't even make eye contact. I'm just looking down at the ground, just marching to the front.
You make your way out to the front gates. You see your companion standing there still with his shield and spear.
Oh, come on. Oh, you would come with me.
No, I'm stationed here at the front.
No, you're not. Come on. You're with me. And I will turn my ring and turn back into Seeker and...
Oh, okay. He immediately drops the spear and his shield, and he begins walking with you out of the manor and back into the city of Saddlemount. Did you get what you need?
Indeed, I did.
Holy shit, man. Okay.
I couldn't have done it without your help.
I mean, I underestimated you. Whew.
You guys were really good.
Okay, what's the score? What did we get?
I got some shambling mound sap.
Good, and?
That is all I needed.
That was all you needed.
Was there more? What? Hey, would you like it? I don't
know. It's a manor. Gold, diamonds, precious gemstones. I don't know. I was just expecting a little bit more, but okay.
What is more precious than a creature's life?
Gold. Gold is more precious.
I completely disagree with you on this.
But I mean, I gotta.
Would you like a vial of sap? I will produce a vial of the sap and say, I hear it is good in tea.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll take one.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You can say you got it. I mean, you really helped a lot.
Well, I think I'm just proud to have been a part of breaking into the manor. That was, you don't know how long we've been trying to get someone in there. I underestimated you.
I could give you some notes for your next try.
I will pick your brain. Yes. But until then, we're gonna head back to the Rising Tide.
I've got to get going. I've got to get this back as quickly as possible.
Okay. You know where we stay.
I know how to find you.
All right. He reaches out to shake your hand.
I reach out, shake hands.
Pleasure playing cards with you. And that is where we're going to end this episode. We're going to call it right there.
Hey.
Seekers successfully getting away. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Bye, nerds.
Hi, nerds. No, I'm just kidding. It's me, Russ. Just wanted to say thank you for listening once again. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe if you enjoy this, because then it shows us that you enjoy it, and then it makes us happy. Also, if you're looking for a way to talk to other nerds that love this podcast, there's a Discord, a community Discord that we have. And there's a decent amount of people in there just chatting it up about D&D, about life, about the show. And if you want to be a part of that, it's in the links. So go ahead and click it and check it out. Other than that, thank you again for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, nerds.